The Right Reverend Dr. Joseph Kebushwa, the leader of the Anglican Church in this diocese, the clergy who are here, my fellow leaders, the youth who have attended this function, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Your Grace, I think it's responsible to start my brief remarks by tendering an unequivocal and unreserved apology for coming here later than I was expected. I miscalculated my movement time and took time to also meet a few of my friends, some of whom are here, and lost time to get here at the time I was expected to be here. And because of that, I do not have the moral authority to take such a long time to speak when I arrived late in the first place. For inviting us to be here. And at the end of my remarks, because this is church, and I'm one of those who fervently advocates for respect of holy worship places, we will not do what we are not expected to do in the house of worship. I am going to ask my friends at the end of my remarks to introduce themselves, say one word, and say nothing that will violate the expectations of the church, because we have plenty of spaces out there and plenty of time out there to say those things outside of the sanctuary. I take heed of the counsel that you have given us as our leaders, our spiritual leaders in the church, that we must and should at all times respect the church and respect our places of worship. But that said, Your Grace, I start by very sincerely thanking you for your service to our country, your service to this diocese, and say here publicly that for the time that I have known you, you are one of those people I very sincerely admire because of your humility, your honesty, and your sense of focus. Honestly speaking, if our society had more people like you, populations of leadership, whether it is within the secular or the religious world, we probably could be a better place than we are today. But I thank the Lord for you, and I thank the Lord for your service, for all the clergy that contribute towards spiritual nurturing of our young people. It's true, as you said, you invited me before to come here. When I didn't make it, I sent a message. But I'm really honored and incredibly humbled to stand before these wonderful young people who are essentially the promise of our country today, tomorrow, and always. And what is even more gratifying as a parent is to thank you for sparing effort and time for these wonderful people. Because it's out of the work that the church is doing, and the church will continue to do in the service of these young people, that we will build a strong society and a strong nation driven by values, and a nation that faces its future with confidence and courage. Reverend Kebushwa, we've had occasion once in a while, even within the Anglican Church and other churches, to discuss a lot of secular things. But I will say about 2 or 3 things. Young people, please, we should all thank the Lord for being born and being present in Kenya. This is one of our great countries on earth. The Lord has blessed us with a wonderful country. There's nothing wrong with our country. It's the mistakes that we have made sometimes in the management of our nation, which all of us seek to correct humbly and genuinely to ensure that we can be better and we can have a better day tomorrow than we have today. And you young people have a greater responsibility in this, because if age is anything to go by, many of you will outlive the people seated on this side of the sanctuary. And therefore you have a greater responsibility to do more and exert yourselves more in the journey and in the path of making Kenya a greater country than it is today. You have taught us many things. From the happenings of the 25th of June 2024, you've taught us that it's possible to live in this country tribelessly, that it's possible to live in this country focusing on the things that need to be done. And that's why I am so grateful to see so many young people volunteering themselves and stepping into the responsibilities of leadership. I want to encourage you young people. Let us now occupy leadership. Let's not just talk about occupying the spaces we have been occupying. The 2027 general election should be about young people occupying leadership at all cadres, so that you make the changes that you desire and the changes you would like to see in your country. I love the drive that even the church is supporting of objective, peaceful, inclusive conversation on the future of our country. Please, young people, you are more than those of us who cannot be described as young, which means take charge, take control. If politics is a game of numbers, please take charge of that game as young people. And take it so seriously that you do not allow people who do not make sense to you or who do not offer credible proposals on how our country should go forward to have an opportunity to occupy positions of leadership. The debate now is about the future of our country. So we urge you, I would like to urge you, to boldly and courageously move forward and make your contribution to the welfare, the betterment of our country. Your Grace, I have greetings and regards from the Honorable Mother Karua, whom you all know, the party leader of PLP, who hails from this county. She has been traveling the whole of this week in South Africa, attending human rights and lawyers' activities there. We spoke twice this week. I had actually hoped that she was going to be available. We come here together. When I last spoke to her, she was preparing to leave Johannesburg to come to Nairobi. She wasn't sure that she was going to make it here today, but nonetheless, she asked me to deliver her regards to you, the clergy, and to our young people. Finally, before I ask my colleagues who are here to introduce themselves, I joined the church and others in encouraging you to register to vote. Let me say this. One of the clips that has been doing rounds in social media is a remark I made in 2022 in circumstances such as this. I was invited by Archbishop Ole Sabit, the head of the Anglican Church, to a meeting of the clergy in Westlands. We were preparing for elections at that time. I was playing a critical role as the minister in charge of security, and Archbishop Ole Sabit asked me to address the clergy in that meeting about our preparations for elections and what we were going to do. I was accompanied in that meeting by two colleagues from Cabinet, the Honorable Attorney General, and my colleague then, the Minister for ICT, and the Inspector General of Police. And then the clergy at that time fielded questions such as I would have loved to hear today if I had the opportunity, because I don't like losing an opportunity to answer questions from the public. But I think the circumstances the way they are today, I don't think I'll have any questions from the clergy. But I don't mind answering them if a framework emerges, because leadership must be a conversation. It cannot be a dictatorship about what we think. It must also be about what those that we seek to lead think. So we had a very healthy and robust conversation. That is where I made those famous remarks that you see circulating on social media every time I see, about what I believed then, what I believe now, and what I will always believe, namely the truth. That what we were hearing then were just lies, and they were not going to happen. And 4 years later, I think no Kenyan needs now any more convincing that what we were hearing then were lies. I want to ask you young people, please help us clean up our country. There's so many things that are said during this political season. Many of them are not truthful. Scrutinize us, ask us questions, and when you go home, look at us, turn us around, look at what we have done. We are not coming here today. Some of us have been around. When people come here and say nice things and so on, and then you elect them, you know what happens. You can see now what has happened in our country because we were told the things we were told, which I do not want to repeat. This time around, I urge you young people to stick to the path of truth. If you feel we are worth your while because we performed our jobs well in the past when we have been given the opportunity, then please give us another chance. If you feel we are not worth your while, don't give us that chance, because our country and the future of it is too important for us to play games with it and to second guess the choices that we are going to have to make. But I wish you all the best as you move forward and as we continue engaging, because there's nothing wrong with our country, as I said. Everything that we are facing and the challenges we are facing have everything to do with the decisions we have made. Every morning you open the newspaper, you see those sad stories you read. Like I was reading one this morning of a mother whose child was bitten by a snake over the Easter break. She's still in hospital because she cannot pay the bill. You know events that happened this week where people died in a stampede because they were waiting for 200 bob being distributed by politicians. These things ought not to happen in our country. That shame, that embarrassment is as a result of the decisions and the management we've done of our country. But God will hear our prayers, and God will hear all of us. And personally, young people, I want to tell you, I have faith that you will do the right thing. For those of you who interacted with in 2015, 2016, 2017, during the famous communion with the truth in the examination sector, you know that when we stick with the truth, we get the right thing done. And when we stand firm, we get the right results. I thank all of you for your time and your grace. When the opportunity arises, we will make our contribution supporting the activities of the young people in the church. And I want to assure you that first, because of yourself as a person and because I sincerely admire you, you are one of the clergy, one of the church leaders I truly admire in this country. And I'm not alone. The other day I was asking, we were having a discussion, I have to be very sincere and confess. The other day we were in a political meeting, a few of us political leaders, and we were gossiping about you and saying, if we had an issue here, who are some of the clergy that we can resort to? You are one of the three that were almost everybody in the room voted for. And that shows you that I'm not the only one who thinks highly about your integrity and who looks up to you for your leadership. May the Lord strengthen your hands for the good work ahead, because you might have some work ahead in both leading us, guiding us, and also sometimes putting us together in a room if we get to a point where we don't agree and so on. And may God continue to bless the work that you do for his people in this diocese. With your kind permission, I would like to ask Murithi Wakangara. This good man is the chairman of Jubilee. He usually does many things, but I'm going to plead with him today to do only one. Bring the leaders who are here, and you have agreed, this is church. Ile mambo tunaambianga wengine tuongee huko nje, so that we respect the sanctuary of the Lord. So you introduce the team that we are with here, have a second for each person, so that I respect and honor the leaders of the church and what they need. And for the young people, whatever opportunity arises, even after this, for us to interact briefly, Bishop told me I can interact with you freely. And Bishop, I hope that is still the case. so I can interact with you freely, and especially outside the sanctuary, where I'll be even ready to answer questions. I'm a very responsible person, and I would like to be a responsible leader. Thank you so much indeed, and God bless you.